I cannot believe that I have to fucking do this again, but apparently once more I have to explain the difference between objective and subjective to someone, and explain exactly why objective morality does not exist. Here we go.
I keep watching videos on YouTube. People argue about the subject of objective morality versus subjective morality. And, I'm getting tired of just being on the sidelines, and I want to weigh in on it. And recently I had this very heated debate with YouTube user BionicDance.
It only got heated because you weren't open to evidence and reason. If you'd actually been willing to change your mind just a little bit when presented with other facts, it might not have gotten so heated.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just do a recap of the debate that we had, a kind of argument that we had. If you agree with what I'm saying, perhaps maybe you can think of a better way that I could have said it, maybe to get my point across, if you agree with me.
This is part of the problem. It's not that I didn't understand you. I understood your point. You're just completely fucking wrong.
Or if you don't agree with me, maybe you can elaborate on her point and explain it in a different way so that I would understand, because I obviously don't agree with her point.
And I'm very, very tempted to just skip right to the point, because I've analyzed what your position is, and I know exactly where the problem lies in your thinking, and I'm tempted to just jump straight to that part.
Okay, so I wrote, morality deals with making decisions, and decisions imply the desire to further life and improve its quality. It follows that certain decisions lead to greater life and happiness while others don't.
That's right. But what makes a good life? To one person, X, Y, or Z might make a good life. To another person, A, B, or C might make a good life. To someone else, it could be LMNOP. You don't know. It's individual. It's up to the person. What makes a good life is subjective, because it's a matter of opinion. Not everyone can agree. Some people say that you cannot have a good life. You cannot be moral if you're a homosexual. Other people say bullshit. You can be whatever the hell you like. No one can agree. That is, by definition, subjective. Morality is subjective because it's a matter of opinion what makes a good life.
Hence, we must look at the reality to determine which moral principles improve life. Example, if stealing is okay, then property will disappear and society will fall apart.
And if someone happens to be an anarchist, maybe to them society falling apart is completely moral. Maybe to them that's the end goal, that is the ultimate good. Morality is a matter of opinion. Opinions are subjective. Period.
Industrial and scientific progress will become impossible, making life shorter and more miserable. It is objectively immoral to steal.
No, it fucking isn't. It's immoral to steal if you happen to value the things that you just said would go away. It's a matter of opinion. It is subjective.
She responded by saying desire itself is a subjective human trait, a feeling. It is not objective.
And I reassert that sentiment. Morality is about what we want. It is an opinion. It is a preference. That's what morality is. I want to live this kind of life. I want to see this kind of behavior. Want. It's all opinion. That's what morality is. It's just an opinion very strongly held.
I say, okay, I didn't say the desire to live is objective. I said that morality is a system of principles which we use in order to guide our choices.
And how exactly is a choice not a subjective thing? It's something we think up. It's based on our preferences, on our feelings, on our decisions, what goes on inside our mind. To be objective, it has to not be a matter of opinion, which a choice always is. That's what morality is. It's just a guideline for our choices based on what we prefer, based on our preferred outcome. How do you not see this?
And is only applicable to people who do want to improve their lives.
And that's objective how exactly? I mean, think about it. These are people who want to improve their lives. Isn't that opinion? Look at the definition of objective. How does this fit into the definition of objective? Tell me.
She says morality is not objective. Morality is based on a set of preferences or goals one wishes to achieve. Without that basis, there can be no direction and therefore no morality. Thus, morality is subjective as it depends entirely upon the desires or goals of the person holding it.
Uh-huh. Like I said.
Okay, now I think she's missing my point. My point is that there's no such thing as morality for people who don't wish to live.
And this is where we start to run into problems. You're making assumptions about that. I mean, nowhere in the definition of morality is that to be found. Seriously, it's just not there. You're making this shit up. That's the problem, is you're going with your own personal definition of morality, and that's not what it actually means.
She's saying it's subjective whether you want to live or not. But it's silly to say that you can hold such a value, at least philosophically, morally.
So it's silly. Big deal. That doesn't change the definition. That doesn't change the definition at all. Heck, there's a lot of morality out there that I happen to find completely silly. I mean, there are some things that religious people do that they consider moral that I'm just like, what? Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. Nuh-uh. I don't buy that for a second. That's just goofarama. And yet, they consider it completely moral. And they look at some of the things I consider moral or immoral, and they feel much the same way. I'm sorry, but morality is silly, inherently. It just is. Well, okay, I mean, some of it makes sense, but only from my perspective. Some of it makes sense from my opinion. Morality is subjective because it's entirely based on your opinion of what right and wrong are.
Morality deals with principles, and principles are something we use over, a long period of time, usually.
Sorry, but once again, this is you imposing your opinion on everyone else. What you're saying does not fit the actual definition of principle or morality. So, I'm sorry, but this is another place where you've gone completely off the rails.
Philosophy deals with how to live a whole lifetime, not how to live the next 5 minutes.
But the thing is that morality does deal with the day-to-day. It does deal with the next 5 minutes. It can also deal with an entire lifetime. Morality is not as limited as you'd like to think. It is not just about your entire life. It's not. You're imposing your definition on everybody else, like I said.
So there's no such thing as morality for people who really, truly, and I mean, really don't want to live.
Bullshit. The one single solitary thing morality is about is conduct. It says nothing about whether you want to live. It says nothing about whether you want to die. All it says is this is how I think people should interact with each other. And this is how I think people should not interact with each other. That is the only thing morality says. And you are trying to impose this extra garbage on top of it. And that's why you don't understand the basic concept.
Nobody ever says, this is moral because it will kill us all. This is moral because it will bring about destruction and misery and death and pain and suffering.
But the fact remains that someone could say, I want destruction and pain and death. I think destruction and pain and death are awesome. Someone could say that. And thus, that for them would be moral. Because morality is an opinion. If someone said the rules of right conduct involve hurting each other on a daily basis, that's their morality. You or I may disagree with it. We might think it's fucked up. But you know what? That doesn't make it any less moral. It just makes it less moral to us. Because morality is an opinion. That's it. Part of the problem here is that you're mixing up morality with the results of morality. You're mixing up our thoughts on what should be done versus what happens when we apply that. And I'm sorry, but morality is just the concept. It's not the application. It really isn't. And that's part of where you're getting caught up. Look, folks, I could go on and on and on with this idiot. I could go round and round all frickin' day. I mean, basically, he's got another 2 videos just responding to me. And the fact is that we went over this, and no matter what I did, no matter what I said, I could not get this through to his dumb butt. Now, I've unblocked him. I blocked him because I was frustrated and sick and tired of doing it, and I was having a hard time not responding, so I just said, fuck it, you're gone. But that was wrong, and I've unblocked him. If he wants to answer me, he can go right ahead, but the fact remains, I don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye on this one, because he's got it invested that morality is, objective no matter what, that the parts that are opinion don't matter, blah, 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 blah. And he's got all this extra baggage he's attached to all of his definitions that just aren't there. So discussing it is impossible with the guy. Regardless, I've made my point, and, this video is already over 10 minutes long. I'm done. So, enjoy. May the force be with you.